Hey, what's up, guys? It's the HPR Chronicles with Shakur and Smith podcast. It is, what is it, Crispy? February 26th.
Yes.
It is the last Wednesday of Black History Month, I think, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I'm a film director from Trinidad and Tobago. Have a love of history, politics, and race. Chris here is a veteran of the Army Reserves, and he currently works for the VA. He has a love for history and politics and
yes,
race.
I do.
Together, we are the HPR Chronicles Podcast with Shakur and Smith. We have a motto that we say every week. You know, it's not about pro-race. It's not about, you know, who you are, what religion you follow.
Correct.
It's not about any lies. We're just about truth. And we say if the truth offends you, we're sorry, not sorry. That's what we say for all of our new listeners. If you haven't heard it before, if you've been rocking with us since show one, you know what it is already.
And we appreciate you.
We're sorry, not sorry. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube channel, ISENT Group Digital. RP Talk Truth is the Gmail. And we will have all that in the description. And get us where you get your podcasts. We stream everywhere. Okay?
Yep.
So since it's Black History Month, like I told Smith last week, we're going to do the Today in History first before the show. And today's show, we're just going to get into some current events that happened a few weeks ago in politics. We're going to talk about Romney, voting to convict Trump, how Pelosi was shaded when Trump didn't want to shake her hand. We're going to talk about how gangster she is, how she ripped up the State of the Union. We're going to talk about the results of the caucuses a couple of weeks ago, all that good stuff. But let's get into some cool historical facts, 4 of them, for Black History Month. So February 26, 1964, Cassius Clay becomes Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
On this day, the Kentucky boxer known to all as Cassius Clay changed his name to Muhammad Ali as he accepted Islam and rejected Christianity. I believe in the religion of Islam. I believe in Allah and in peace. I'm not a Christian anymore, were the famous words. I actually used to be engaged to one of his daughters, so I've had the pleasure to meet Muhammad Ali. And I remember one time we were hanging out at a hotel in LA, and he sat me down and pulled out the Bible and went through every single inconsistency in the Bible with me. I didn't even ask. I just I was there with his daughter hanging out. And he said, "Hey, Imani, come here." He talks. "Sit right here. I want to show you something." You know what I'm saying? He pulls out the Bible and he starts showing me all these inconsistencies. It was mind blowing, And so yeah, man, that's my Muhammad Ali story. I'm still friends with his daughter, of course, and the family and all that good stuff. And definitely R.I.P. to him.
Yeah.
What else we have that happened on this day, February 26th? In 1985, since I'm in the entertainment industry, let's see what this is. In 1985, on this day, the Grammy Awards ceremony, African-American musicians won awards in several categories. Lionel Richie's Can't Slow Down won the best album of 1984. Tina Turner's What's Love Got to Do With It took the best record slot and earned her the title Best Female Pop Vocalist. The Pointer Sisters won Best Pop Group for Jump. Interesting. I didn't know that.
I do remember
back in 1985,
how popular
February 26th. Yeah, I remember those songs too. They were unbelievable. We'll give you guys a couple more. Let me see. Well, this one kind of goes with what we did last week.
Okay.
So in 1926, on this day, Carter G. Woodson started Negro History Week. This week would later become Black History Month, which we covered last week. But this is when it happened.
Yeah.
On this day, back in 1926. And one more for you guys before we get into the news and what's going on. Let me see. You see a good one? Let's see if Smith sees something interesting.
I mean,
what about this?
But you could bring that one up. Or oh yeah, do that one.
Okay, so back in 1869, on this day, February 26th, Fifth Amendment guaranteeing the right to vote sent to the states for ratification. So that happened on this day, 1869. Yeah. So that's it, guys. I'm closing this out. That's Black History Month. Next month, it'll go back into history on this day in history, which includes everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about every race,
and it doesn't matter what country.
Yeah, we just whatever is happening on that day. You know what I'm saying? Is what we'll talk about. But what I will do is, if I find that it never includes us, I'll start looking up Black History facts for that day too.
Okay.
If I find that it just never includes us, like you know what I'm saying?
And what I'll also do is look up the so throughout the whole calendar year, again, like I said, there's different time periods for a time to celebrate each different ethnic groups. Yeah. So like there's Pacific Asian, and just down the lines, well, I think it's Hispanic. I'll just have to look it up, and I'll give you that too. And then we can kind of incorporate that. So
cool.
That's
yeah, it's a good idea. That way we don't, just like we talked about, we want to talk about.
We're pro.
Yeah, and it's not about just celebrating Black History that month. We should be able to do it throughout the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but because we live in a, white controlled society on this day, and we do, and like I said, we're about pro-truth. That's just the facts. On this day may be skewed to them. So, but I remember us mentioning stuff pertaining to others though.
Oh yeah,
when doing it. Yeah, so I don't think so. So let's see. Anyway,
so let me interject.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So again, as I last week, my friend from high school, Judge Derek Mosley, every day throughout the whole month of Black History Month, he presents new facts that he puts on his Facebook. And actually, I just read that what he's also doing, Milwaukee has him on TV going through the Black History things that happened for Milwaukee.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so,
that's cool.
But the age of fingerprints. In 1903, Will West was convicted of a crime and was sent to Leavenworth Penitentiary. During processing at the prison, Will West underwent the same procedure that every new inmate went through upon arrival: a catalog of physical measurements, including standing height, sitting height, length of trunk and head, distance between fingertips with arms outstretched, and size of head, right ear, left foot, digits, and forearm. In addition, a photo and any distinctive personal features such as eye color, scars, and deformities were noted. This was known as the Bertillon system and was the gold standard at the time for identifying criminal defendants. As the prison clerk was entering the Bertillon data, he came across the file of a William West, an inmate currently at the prison serving a life sentence with a similar mugshot and Bertillon numbers as Will West. The clerk pulled the mugshot for William West and noted he had the exact same bone structure, equal nose length, mouth shape, and positioning of the eyes as the person sitting in the chair in front of him. The two men who looked almost identical were not twins and were not even related. The men had the same name and, strangely enough, almost identical facial features.
That's funny.
But to the surprise of prison officials, were two completely different individuals.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Soon after this case occurred, the reality of Bertillon measurements came into question, and the era of fingerprints had begun. Today, thanks to these two unrelated yet identical inmates, the fingerprint analyst is employed by every law enforcement agency in every country the world over. So
that's crazy.
And if you look this up,
you should send that to me so I can put it on the screen.
Oh, okay, I will.
Yeah,
because this picture is
for people that watch the show. You'll be able to see what these two guys look like, and they look like twins.
Twins,
but they will come two completely different people.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know how they say everyone has a twin.
Yeah.
Have you seen that dude from way back in the turn of the century that looks just like Jay-Z? Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna show you real quick. So, and I'll put this up for our listeners too, for our watchers on YouTube, just because we talked about that. That's how it all started. That's a crazy story though, man. Watch this. Jay-Z.
And it's very interesting when I read the comments below it, and just how many people were like amazed at how the fact that they look alike. And him being a judge, a lot of people who are following him are lawyers themselves, and just different things that they refer to.
Yeah, I think this is the guy, but I saw better photos of him though. I mean, he looked just like him, dude. I've seen better photos of him.
From 1939?
He's from 1900s. Oh. Yeah. And this dude looks just like Hov, man. It's crazy. And what I'll do for our audience is I'll put the actual photo that I first saw of it.
And there's an Eddie Murphy one,
because he looks just like him. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
See, look, it's crazy, man. This dude back then, you see it?
He even said,
isn't that strange?
Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
Wow.
Anyway, guys, I'm definitely gonna post these for our viewers on YouTube, and that was a really great excerpt Smith added.
Shout out
to today's show.
Again, Derek Mosley, Judge Derek Mosley, for
definitely shout out to
doing
the judge.
your research and bringing these
things.
Things.
Those are really cool.
Like, every year I learn something new from him, so I appreciate
those. Are really cool. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, today we're gonna jump into some current news events, man. We just gonna go down the list. I'll let you jump it off if you want.
So today I was
what you want to talk about first. So basically, guys, what we're gonna do for our listeners, we're gonna present these subjects and get both of our opinions on the subjects, and just go from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting watching, or as I had the TV on in the background, and then something else was playing, but everything stopped and went to the live footage or video of the Senate actually voting, and it was just interesting hearing, because each senator has to stand up and say if they vote to
yay or nay, right? Yeah.
Acquit or convict, and so they say I vote to acquit or I vote to convict. And
is that the way they did it? I didn't watch. I only saw Romney's thing.
And then all of a sudden,
remember in the House when they would go down different things they were trying to get entered, they would say so and so votes no, and Senator so and so votes no, and so I thought that's the way they were going to do this.
No, well, someone's in the back or up at the top front, saying people's names. So
right, okay.
Romney from blah blah blah,
and then
he's standing and he goes, "I vote to convict," and it was just like. When I was kind of mad that I don't have a DVR anymore, and I was like, "What?" I wanted to rewind it because I was like, "Did I really just hear that?" And it was like, "Oh," and I know that ahead of that he had already written or did a speech on why he was going to vote to convict.
And you know what I'll do too, if I can quickly interject.
Oh yeah,
I will I'll get the excerpt from YouTube just in case you haven't heard it or if you want to hear what he had to say. And I'll play it in between what we're talking about right now and come back to us. Yeah.
The one thing that I just find out of it, or do you want to add to anything before I'm just going to...
Who well, I definitely will have some stuff to say about Romney.
I'll just add this part that I find very strange in the president saying and doing this is that he wants to kick Romney out of the Republican Party.
Oh, of course.
And he has said that he is now part of the resistance. So it's very strange to hear a president get, someone who doesn't like him.
Right. Or have a difference of opinion.
And he automatically labels him on a different side and that he should be gone. And I'm like, I've never, I'm not, I'm old enough. And I will say watching politics or, all this stuff is very new to me.
Right.
But it's like, I've never heard of anyone doing any of this stuff. Right. And maybe they have in the past, but it's just amazing that he doesn't do anything that tries to bring people together. I mean,
Right.
And really, there should be no opinion on his part.
Yeah, it is right there.
But the fact that he tweets that the man should be kicked out of the party and that he's part of resistance, I'm like, wow. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my opinion on Romney is, first of all, I'm happy that one Republican senator stood up and did what was right and said what was right, and I definitely take my hat off for Romney. At least we had one person with some balls.
And can I
of course.
interject? I'm sorry. Is that it was 48 to 52, 48 yeses, 52 noes, 45 Democrats, 1 Republican, 2 independents, and then, of course, 52 Republicans. Go ahead.
Voted yes, right?
Voted no
to not convict. Yeah.
But now, so that was on Art 1 on the abuse of power.
Article 1, yeah.
But I do now see that when it comes to the second obstruction of Congress, he did not vote the same way, and all 53 Republicans said no. So they voted to acquit.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. So I mean, so basically, Romney voted yes to acquit on obstruction, but no on abuse of power.
Correct.
And he's still mad at Romney.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like they've been saying from day one, this guy thinks he's a dictator. He thinks he's a king, and loyalty is that sets precedent over patriotism, over country, over constitution, or anything. All he cares about is himself. And if anyone goes against him, even in the smallest of fashion, he attacks like he's a 5th grader.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My 15-year-old daughter acts more mature than this guy.
And my
I have friends with kids that are 4 that acts more mature than this guy. I mean, I'm serious. You know what I mean? So again, my opinion is I take my hat off to Romney, and I wish others would have done the same thing. But at least somebody had the balls to stand up.
And I'm also impressed that, all the Democrats did continue, because you have moderate Democrats who some people thought might flip and switch the other way.
But they didn't.
And they didn't. And, if it costs them their reelection, I feel bad for them, because I don't either. I kind of don't either, but
yeah,
we shall see.
We shall see. So that's Romney, man.
And one thing he did say, the president's purpose was personal and political.
Yeah.
Accordingly, the president is guilty of an appalling abuse of the public's trust.
Oh, for sure.
And one other thing about this whole thing that gets to me is they've now set it up and opened it so that any president who wants to do exactly what he did, which was, trying to reach out for
political help.
Yep, political help while in office, because he felt that it's in the nation's interest that he could seek out help from a foreign. Like, I'm sorry, your reelection is no.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So now I want to talk about the State of the Union from a couple of weeks ago as well. And Trump's, first of all, Pelosi is gangster for ripping up the papers.
But she did wait until
afterwards. Right. But I said before on that other show that she's gangster, everything that she's been doing. And I love her response. She said it was that when they asked her why she ripped it up, what did she say again? Because it was papers filled with myths, truths, or something like that.
Oh.
Look it up real quick, if you can for me, because I really want the audience to know exactly what she said. Yeah, just look up Pelosi's response to ripping up the papers. Yeah, she said it because it was something of mistruths or something like that. It was when she was walking down the hall and they asked her. Yeah.
She kind of says it was a dirty speech.
No, man. She said it was she just said it was
which one was called? Oh. I mean, go ahead and continue talking.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but I just love what she said. I mean, basically, as usual, Trump told a bunch of lies and tried to take credit for a lot of stuff the administration did and started and got rolling and tried to make it seem as if his administration should get the credit for that stuff and as if he did it. So it was just really literally appalling to sit there and watch him spew all these lies. You know what I mean? I just couldn't believe it. Just lie after lie after lie. You know what I mean? And I actually happened to watch right as they were recognizing all these black figures. But before I even go there, your opinion on Trump shading her and not shaking her hand, which she started off trying to be the bigger person and shake his hand.
I mean, she accepted I saw that
and then
she
went to shake his hand and he straight dissed her.
Yeah, he just turned.
You know what I mean? And that's probably why she ripped the paper up. And I don't blame him. To me, you have to fight fire with fire. And Trump acts like that. And I hate you have to stoop to his level. But I don't blame her. You have to fight this guy the way you have to play the way he plays. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You have to. You know what I mean? So your opinion on the handshake shade and her ripping up the...
So I think it looks like she said the manifesto of mistruths presented page after page of the address tonight should be a call of action to everyone who expects truth from the president and policies worthy of his office and the American people.
Right. That's what she said. It was a manifesto of mistruths. That's why she ripped it up. And I don't blame her. Ripped that sucker up. And I like the way she did it one by one, right in the camera.
I think she was grabbing a couple pieces. Or was it one at one?
No, it was like three times.
Oh, okay.
It was three different sections she picked up and ripped.
Oh, okay.
I love it, man.
Yeah, no.
You go, Nancy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Somebody needs to stand up
during
to
his
this
speech,
fool.
he made negative comments about California.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah. Yeah. But again, what do you think about it?
Just the rip
about her, about him shaking her.
That was, I mean,
not shaking her hand.
It's as much as you want to say, well, it's obviously a childish act, but what do you expect from this man who acts like a kid? I mean, when something doesn't go his way or people don't bow down to him, which he obviously wants to be treated like a king or a dictator.
Right.
And we do not live in that type of
society in America. Yeah.
It's just, it's a shame. That's all.
Yeah.
But like some commentators also said that, she knew what she was doing by doing it.
Of course.
Air, and then that gives people something to talk about.
I don't blame her. Mm-hmm. That's how you have to treat this fool, because if the tables were turned, he would have done the same or worse.
Oh,
as he always does.
Oh, he already does.
He already does the same or worse. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? It was something else. Oh yeah, the way he was acknowledging all these black people was very strange to me. And on the one hand, you could say, oh, he was doing it because of Black History Month. I don't believe that.
Oh, I don't
think Trump cares or even has an inkling of interest in anything anyone black has ever done. So I think it was done to drum up his base for votes in November from the black base. That's what I think.
Well, try to get black voters to actually think he's acceptable.
Right.
And
right.
I would hope that
he's sitting there acknowledging all these, the Tuskegee Airman guy, that one kid wants to go into space.
The Tuskegee Airman should have.
And this and that. I'm like, this one homeless dude that, like, come on, Trump. And you want to know what I don't like about that, Crispy? The fact that, as a people, we have to unite and stay strong. United, we stand. Divided, we fall. Mm-hmm. Why even allow yourself to be used like that? My opinion is all those people shouldn't have even gone when they were invited. I'm sorry. I would have been like, Mr. President, thank you, but no thank you.
Sorry, but not sorry. Yeah.
Seriously.
No, I mean, the only person who I do...
Because you know
only
what
person,
he's doing.
No, I agree. I get it. But
and on the same... Hold on, one more thing. And on the same stage, he acknowledges Rush Limbaugh?
That's what I was going to talk about. We're going to but let me real quick say, the only person who I think definitely should have been acknowledged was the last, airman. He could probably pass away before another State of the Union. So on that level, that, I like that idea. But yes, the weirdest thing is giving Rush Limbaugh the highest medal of honor that a civilian can get. The only other people are, what is it, Mother Teresa and Rosa Parks. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Rush Limbaugh has not done anything to deserve that. And in fact...
But see, let me tell our listeners something. The only reason why he did that is because he was acknowledging all these black people. He knew that his base would love the fact that he did that to Rush.
Yeah, you're right.
So he just did that to counter, to keep his base happy. So at the end of it, they can say, why is he acknowledging all these black folks? Oh, but he acknowleded Rush, though, gave him the... That's all he did.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. And
that's the only reason why he did that.
Someone who is so...
racist.
Polarizing. To say, but everything that, the things that have come out of Rush Limbaugh's mouth to think, but that's a very good point. Here, I do this thing to make it look like I like black people. And then on the other end, I'm going to give, I go back to my base. They're going to love me giving him. Oh, of course.
And
I understand.
That's all it was.
I understand he's been diagnosed with cancer, and I hope he
that has nothing to do with it.
You don't get that medal because he has not done anything that would have propelled people's lives.
Right. I completely agree.
Or done.
Yeah. That was real slick. I was like, okay, so he's bringing Rush in so that his base won't get mad at him for acknowledging all those black people. Interesting. Boy, that mother sucker slick, ain't he, Crispy? He's just slick. Wow, listen, it's just slick. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to look for this one posting I saw. Oh, man.
That is a slick sucker, boy.
I mean, the people that are behind him who help run his show and come up with little ideas. They're slick. They're slick.
I'm sure they were in the office and they said, okay, so you got to acknowledge some black people. Mm-hmm. It's Black History Month. And you may drum up some votes from the black base. But just so we don't piss our folks off, throw Rush in there and give him a medal tonight. Yeah. And he probably was like, excellent idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. I saw right through that. To be honest with you guys, after I watched him acknowledge all these black people and saw through it and saw the Rush thing, I just cut it off. I didn't even watch the end after that. Nope.
Yeah.
I wasn't interested because he had been telling all those lies before he started acknowledging those people. And I was like, he just lie after lie after lie. And one thing that I want to say too, before we move on to the Iowa caucus in Bolton, the Dems got to get more of a backbone. Because that Democratic response was just weak. If you want to go toe-to-toe with this guy, you got to play the way he plays. I'm sorry. That Democratic response should have been way stronger. Yeah. I thought it was weak as I don't know what. This lady from Michigan.
Okay.
I mean, it was just weak, man. You know what I mean? I'll tell you guys who it was. It was just because this is a podcast, we want to try to keep it professional. It was done by Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Okay.
And it was just weak. And nothing against Gretchen, but you got to come harder dealing with this guy. You got to play the way he plays. Yeah. That's the only way we're going to win in November.
Well,
if we're perceived as weak, I'm telling you, it's not going to work, man.
It's interesting when you say you got to play like...
You have to.
I almost feel like a Democrat candidate should get on TV like Trump did and be like, so if you got any dirt on Trump, you should be able to, send me some stuff and see how everyone reacts, because you'd be like, you've already said it's okay for him to do it. So I should be able to do this too. Yeah.
Play the way he plays, man. Dude, listen, I voted Democrat last, 3 years ago. I'm voting Democrat again. But I was very disappointed in our response. That's all I have to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It definitely needed to go harder. You want to touch on Bolton?
Yeah, I was just so now it looks like it's very possible that the House will subpoena
him to come and testify.
Bolton to come and testify, which I'm kind of, the one thing that's bothering me and upsetting is they did when they did the trial or investigation, they asked him to come, but he didn't. So it's kind of like, I get, yes, subpoena him and bring him in. Mm-hmm. But it's also kind of like, if you're writing a book and you're putting information out there, then why not just voluntarily come in and do the right thing? And, But
he did afterwards, right? Because I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure if they subpoenaed him or didn't, or Trump stopped it. I forget what happened.
They like I said, they asked him to come, and then they were about to subpoena him, or they had a subpoena, but they were fighting some other subpoenas that were going on. So then they just withdrew it because they didn't want to go through the hassle. Which again, there's one thing that's been going on or went on with the whole impeachment trial is that people made it seem like there was a limit. Like there's a limit to how long impeachment should run. No, the impeachment should run until all the facts are found and then presented. Right. And then you got the witnesses and everything like that. So many people are trying to say you can't have an impeachment so close to the election or the election year.
You can.
No, you can. You can start that impeachment right now, and if it continue after the next election, then it continues. But like anyone knows and would think a trial should run. You find the facts, you bring the information. You don't block documents, stuff like that.
Which is what he did.
And speaking of documents, there was also some emails that got brought out, new emails that had brought out by the Pentagon, where that had to deal with the blocking of aid to Ukraine. So again, there's more information that's just leaking out. So as I remember watching a show or a clip where George Conway, which is
Kellyanne
Conway's husband, who said the truth eventually comes out. It always does. It always will. So why try to skirt it when you're either going to look like you're on the right side of history or the wrong? And if you're hiding something for a reason, then there's what is the reason? And you should be able to present a reason for why you're not allowing documents to be presented, or you're blocking the testimony of witnesses. Because no matter what, he feels like I'm blocking it and I'm protecting future presidents. No, you're not. And I'm blocking it because he knows my inner thinking. Well, no one's going to ask them questions that are going to pertain to that necessarily, or someone's going to go, no, you can't say that. But there's definitely going to be stuff he can talk about. So you just don't block him from everything, but obviously you won't release national security secrets or anything that will harm the nation.
Yep, that's right. But my question is, does it really make a difference now that they have acquitted him? Or is it still good just to get it out there anyway? So,
I think it's still good.
So for the voting, they have some more fuel for the fire.
If people don't know and don't, okay, so I'll say that I think there are going to be people who are just going to ignore it even when it does come out. But the fact that the truth does come out, that's actually going to be good. So whatever it is, if he can verify that he actually did block aid, so that he can get dirt on Joe Biden because he thought that that's his worst or best competition, and he should be in trouble. He should have been convicted for that. That means that all the Republicans who voted to acquit and chose not to bring Bolton are also in line with that type of thinking that it's okay, and it's not okay. So
I have to say too, though, but you know what though, listeners, I can't blame Bolton for saving it for his book. Bolton is like, hey,
actually, it's interesting.
I want to put my book out and make some money too. Why can't I save it for my book?
Yeah,
they're gonna acquit him anyway. So why should I come and say it then?
Well, it's not like he knew right away.
Think about it. I mean, they've been talking. McConnell said they was going to acquit him from the very beginning. Remember?
Yeah, I mean,
way before Congress even started, McConnell said, "I'm just going to go with his."
Yeah, the game plan is I'm just going to.
Yeah. So Bolton already knew. So Bolton was like, you know what? Let me strategize. Let me save it for my book.
No, but he did say, I'm willing to testify if the Senate subpoenaed him.
But that was after, though.
No, that was.
But that was after he announced the book. That was after he announced the book, though. Remember?
That part I don't know.
Yeah, it was after he announced the book. Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't blame him. He's like, dude, let me save some fuel for my book so I can get those sales. I'm sorry. And then I could always go and talk after they acquit him. Yeah. They're going to acquit him anyway. You know what I'm saying? My book will roll out right after that. I'm in pocket. Think about it. Tell me he didn't do it like that.
But come on. That's greed over the nation.
I know, but that's what they all do.
Yeah. You're right.
That's what they all do. So your boy Bolton is like,
let me say one
who am I? Why do I got to be different?
You know what's interesting is when you talk about Trump to someone who's a bit, well, yeah, I'll say Trump supporters, and if you're talking to them, I'm amazed that a lot of, not across, well, let's almost say across the board.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go through their little talking points, but then they'll always go, everybody's corrupt. And and I think to myself, so is your point that because you think everyone's corrupt,
right?
And even though we know Trump is way more corrupt than just
than the average person,
but because you think everyone's corrupt, then that makes it right for him to do what he's doing,
right? Yeah,
where are you going to put your standards ever? Because if you're going to lower it for him, then you got to lower it
for everybody,
and then that means no one's ever going to trust your government. Office or senators and politicians.
Right. I agree. That's crazy, man. Well, let's move on to the Iowa caucuses, which we covered a few weeks ago, and that debacle with that darn app.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching that waiting because we talked about it, and I kind of understood the caucuses a lot better. I'm watching. I'm like, oh, this is what we talked about.
Because of the timing, they said that they were going to now make it virtual, and you could use an app to vote.
Yeah.
It sounded like
that whole thing backfired. It was a huge debacle. All of the candidates rolling into New Hampshire, couldn't take that fuel.
New Hampshire.
Yeah, right after they went to New Hampshire. They went to New Hampshire, and the front runner wanted that fuel to help them roll into New Hampshire with a certain energy, and they couldn't do it. You know what I mean? And that was a huge debacle that shouldn't happen again, especially in a year where we're trying to get Trump out of office, man. We need everything to be perfect, which brings me to my next point that I want to make about the caucuses. How Buttigieg, and I'll let you go after this, and how Buttigieg, I'm saying that right? Buttigieg? Oh, I don't hear them saying it like that on CNN.
How do they say it?
Buttigieg or something like that. Yeah, anyway.
Okay. We kind of got that Buttigieg.
The Pete guy.
Mayor Pete.
Mayor Pete. In a time where we need everything to be perfect, I'm kind of worried about him being the front runner, Crispy, because I don't know how everyone is going to respond to his sexuality. And in a time where we need everything to be perfect to get Trump out, I don't want anyone anywhere to have any excuse not to vote for something that the Dems present. That's the only thing that I have to say about Pete. I like Mayor Pete. I would have much rather Sanders, which he was like 2 points below him after the caucuses.
I mean, it's not like he did terrible. It's just
right? Yeah, 2 points. But dude, we need everything to be perfect to get 45 up out of there.
Okay, here's my thing though, is to say, when Obama was running for president, how many times did you go, are they really going to accept a black man to be president?
I know.
So
that's your point.
That's my only point, and I have the same kind of doubts.
Yeah,
is that
I just don't want anyone else to not vote for him.
Yeah,
because we don't need any excuse.
Well, and you know what I thought about something.
To counter what you just said, when Obama ran, we didn't have a Trump that we were trying to get rid of.
Correct.
So had we had a Trump we're trying to get rid, I would have said the same thing about Obama. We don't need any excuse. You know what I'm saying?
But let me say
you understand what I'm saying?
Let me say this.
Yeah.
If black people vote,
Mm-hmm.
and if you've got your LGBTQ
Mm-hmm.
community and they vote,
Mm-hmm.
and if they,
It's not that many of them, though. Yeah, the black base is way bigger.
I'm just saying, if you get people to go out and vote, if these,
and blacks,
if,
we don't care.
my point is,
what his sexual preference is.
Yeah,
we'll still vote for him. We don't care. A lot of us don't care about stuff like that.
No.
You think we do?
Yeah, I think it's still a thing in the black community.
Well, that's the problem. Then goes back to my point.
But I'm just trying to say, if blacks still stick together and go, okay, we just got to get the man out.
Right.
And then if you've got the LGBTQT community does the same thing, that just kind of rolls. Because what I want to add is these blacks and the LGBTQT are sometimes disenfranchised, or kind of push us on this off to the side. And if they come out in droves just to say, hey, we're going to stand up and do our thing, that just helps with the numbers. That's all.
Mm-hmm,
you know. And then if you actually, you may get to want to say that you'll get Republicans to do it. I just think you'll get people who are, just regardless of their political feelings, might just lean towards, what's up with this man? And he's young. He does have, a good, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting
to
see how he can roll and keep it going. If he can't keep it going, then it was just a one-time thing. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that he did really well in Iowa. Mm-hmm. You know, again, a pretty white state. Yeah,
and as we read and as history showed, Iowa is a pretty telling thing that shows what's going to happen later. But apparently, there's 9,083,558 LGBTQ. There's 9 million, people say. So you're right. I mean, that is a big number. So
it's just. I mean, it's if
that is a big number.
If just people go out and come out and vote,
that's
then
true.
That's
true. So I mean, I don't have a problem with Pete. He could sleep with who he wants to sleep with. Yeah. It'll be the first time they'll have like a first lady that's a guy. First man. Yeah. Which I heard him say on this one interview. By that time, me and so-and-so will be moving it up. And it honestly just felt weird to hear him say that, man. I got to admit. It felt so weird to hear him say that.
It would be a first to have an openly gay man
become the president. Have other countries done that yet? I think so, right?
So. Yep. Yeah. Yes, there has.
Yeah, I think they have been. I remember. Yeah.
So there's America other countries that also have had plenty of other countries that have female.
Yeah,
we have not either.
We're still the last one.
Yep. And we haven't even had a female vice president.
Right. That's crazy. So man, that's my worry with Pete. But like you said, if we come out, we'll be able to still get the numbers we need. And the Iowa caucuses, I know it took you guys a couple of days to get it together, but thankfully you did. But that was a little messed up. Please do better next time. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, it's our last show of February, Black History Month. Spring is coming up. Hopefully, wherever you are in the world, in America, it's getting warm. You're getting your bodies together, getting ready to get back out there for spring and summer. I'm definitely looking forward to the spring and summer and the fall. I want to travel out of the country, visit somewhere else new. Maybe we'll bring that to the show. And I think Smith is coming this time. At least he said he was. Let's see. You know what I'm saying? So, man, it's the HPR Chronicles Podcast with Shakur and Smith. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Don't forget to subscribe on ISC&T Group Digital on YouTube. And you can get us where you get your podcast, and we will see you guys next week. Right?
Yeah, first week of March.
First Wednesday of March. That's our show, guys. Peace.